Hey y'all, so we're going to pick back up in Psalm 23 and I want to look at, we're really going to break this verse apart, and I know it seems like it's redundant and I'm repetitive, but I feel like there's just so much in this and I really want us to get it together. So I'm going to break down, or we're going to talk today about that he leads us. So we talked yesterday about him giving us direction, giving us the path to take, and we're going to look at he leads, he guides, okay? And in the Hebrew there, it's to go in the direction. Now, we're going to get there. So I'm just going to tell you what's in my notes and we'll go together. He leads, he guides. Of course, we talked about in the path of blessing, and to go in the direction of. So, of course, if he leads us in the path of blessing, he guides us in the direction of the path of blessing. But how do we know how to get there? How do we know what way to go? How do we know what to do, which way to turn? Well, my mind immediately went to Proverbs 4, which how many times have we read even already this year? But again, I repeat myself in that he's connecting dots all over the place, throughout the word, throughout the scripture. But Proverbs chapter 4, verse 20. And it says, "My son, attend to my words, consent and submit to my sayings. Let them not depart from your sight, and keep them in the center of your heart." I know that sometimes horses have blinders on so that they can only see straight in front of them, like they can't see what's going on around them, and that's to keep them on track, to keep them focused. And sometimes I feel like we need the same thing. We need those blinders on to keep us focused on the path that we're on, and that all of these things going on around us don't distract us. And I believe, firm believer in the fact that the enemy works best in distractions. That if he can take our sight, our focus off of the promise of God, off of his faithfulness, off of his goodness, off of who we know God to be, then we will falter. If he can just distract us, if he can work in smoke and mirrors, then he's got us. And so let them not depart from your sight, but keep them in the center of your heart. For they are life to those who find them. Even as I'm reading this, more bells and whistles and light bulbs. Life to those who find them. Remember, we talked about him restoring our soul, restoring our self, giving us life, reviving us back to that right standing with the Father. For they are life to those who find them, healing and health to all their flesh. Keep and guard your heart with all vigilance, and above all that you guard, for out of it flow the springs of life. Put away from you false and dishonest speech, and willful and contrary talk put far from you. He says, let your gaze look right on with fixed purpose. Let your gaze be straight before you. Consider well the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established and ordered right. Turn not aside to the right hand or to the left, and remove your foot from evil. So Hebrew, and that he leads us, is that we go in the direction of those paths of righteousness, and we have to turn our eyes towards it. We have to keep our eyes fixed on his word, fixed on his way of doing and being right. And then it says in verse 20, attend to my words, give attention to my words, pay attention to the good shepherd, attend, but not only attend, but consent and submit to my sayings. So see, if we don't submit, if we don't attend, consent and submit, then we've only half done it. We've only accomplished part of what we've intended to do, or what he's intended for us to do. Remember, we talked last week about the sheep, where the shepherd left the 99 to go find the one, but the one came back willingly. It doesn't tell us in the scripture that he fought against the shepherd, or that that Jesus, the good shepherd, drug him back to the fold, but that sheep consented to the shepherd bringing him back, and he submitted. It doesn't tell us that the sheep turned right around and went back again. it tells us that he came back to the fold and allowed the shepherd to bring him back. So we have a part in all of this. In all of it, we have a part. Because God didn't want to just create, I mean, he had angels that worship him all the time. He did not want to just create a being that had to worship him or felt like they had to worship him, but that they longed to worship him. So he gave us that free will so that you and I could have a part to play in this, that we would choose to worship him and choose to honor him for his goodness, which we'll get into tomorrow. But to go in the direction of those right paths, I have to turn our eyes towards his word, his sayings. This is it right here. This is it. All right, we'll pick up here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye.